Hi, welcome to Strategies for Retirement. My name's Dean Groff, your host and presenter. This is for the Capstone Class 4900, Section 417361 in the spring semester of 2015 for Dr. Lepervanche's class. In this presentation, we will discuss the replacement of Social Security with tax-free income. As you can see, we are doing a one-man operation here, so we're going to follow around the PowerPoint as we go through this. Bear with me, enjoy the 10 minutes, and maybe we'll all learn something. Welcome to Strategies for Retirement. I'm Dean Groff, your host and author of the presentation for Management 4900 Capstone Class Section 417361, spring semester of 2015, Dr. Lepervanche's. In this presentation, we will discuss the replacement of Social Security with tax-free income. As we begin, we look at the traditional retirement model of our parents and grandparents. Retirement was considered a three-legged stool that comprised of tax-deferred accounts, including IRAs, and established in 1978 by the Internal Revenue Service, 401ks. The second leg was pensions, a lifelong income stream paid by the company at retirement. However, these type plans are disappearing. A large majority of companies offer no pension, having switched to the 401k. And in recent 2014 survey, only 22% of Fortune 500 companies are offering new employees a pension. These companies are concentrated in the utilities, who have strong unions, oil companies, banks and financial giants, and 2/3 of the bigger insurance companies, a majority of them being mutual insurance companies with no shareholders to answer to. Finally, the third leg is Social Security. And we all know this has issues with this leg since it's in the news every day. Let's examine Social Security and get some insight into those issues and questions. If we look at the history and background of Social Security, we see that it was signed into law on August 14, 1935 by President Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Payroll taxes were first collected in 1937, and the first lump sum payments were paid out that same year to over 53,000 beneficiaries. However, the first monthly benefits, as we know them to be, started in January of 1940. It wasn't until after the war in 1945, when it was finally in full gear, operating as it was designed, that we had 40 workers supporting every retiree. But as we all know, there are problems with Social Security today. Let's look at a case study and use that first monthly payment that was made. It was issued on January 31st, 1940 to the lovely Ida Mae Fuller of Ludlow, Vermont. Over 3 years before retiring, Ida Mae paid a total of $24.75 into the Social Security system. Her first monthly check was for $22.54. And God bless her, Ida Mae actually lived to be 100 years old. Over her lifetime, Ida Mae collected a total of $22,888.92. She made $22,864.17 off her $24.75 investment in Social Security. That is a return of 92,385%. Now that was a great return. But if we look at this chart of workers to retirees, we see where it started out in a heady state, but between 1945 and 65, the decline in worker to retiree ratios went from 41 to 4 workers per retiree. Looking at today's figures, there are just 2.9 workers per retiree, and this amount is expected to drop to 2 workers per retiree by the year 2030. So a husband and wife are really supporting just one of their 4 parents. But wait, it gets better. Continuing with the good news, currently, trustees in charge of the Social Security Trust Fund anticipate that the fund will run out of reserves in the year 2033. At that time, the Social Security Administration believes that it will be able to keep paying about 77% of all the people eligible for benefits. Which leads to the next question you have to ask. How will they decide who to pay? The good news keeps coming when we hear from former Comptroller General of the United States, David Walker, who in April of 2012 told CNBC, quote, "It's simple math. We have over 50 trillion in off-the-balance sheet obligations, 37 trillion for Medicare, 9 trillion for Social Security, and those numbers grow faster than inflation and faster than the economy when the economy grows." A side subject but relevant point here, Medicare already accounts for about 15% of federal spending and is the fastest growing program in the federal budget. In 2012, Medicare's aggregate spending reached $557 billion and is expected to nearly double in just 10 years, reaching over $1 trillion by 2023. Medicare spending is accounted for 3.67% of the entire economy as measured by gross domestic product and will be an estimated 5.8% of GDP in 2030. Simply put, he says, we're going to have more revenue. So, after hearing all this good news, the first question is, Social Security, will it be there when you retire? And the second question is, Social Security, how will they pay for it? Taxes.
Higher taxes.
So let's quickly look back at the old retirement model of the three-legged stool and then fast forward it, taking into account our discussions and the facts we just went over. Our new retirement model has basically no pension, a little tiny Social Security leg, and a shrunken IRA 401k leg because of the higher taxes that will be taken to pay for Social Security and Medicare. What are we going to use to replace these legs? Tax-free income. Let's go through our sources of retirement funds. First, we have, quote, free money. This is any inheritance, money found on the street, but most importantly, 401k company match. Most 401k plans have company match of 100% of the first 3% that you put in. It is an incentive to get you to save, but also benefits the owner or highly paid CEOs so they can save also. But it's free to you. Secondly, we have tax-deferred money. That's money in your 401ks or IRAs that the taxes are deferred on the growth until you take it out. It has been the foundation of financial planning for a long time, but as we've seen, there may be some cracks in the concrete we need to fill. Third, there's taxable accounts, savings, checkings, CD, and taxes are paid immediately when they are earned in these accounts. Finally, we come to the basis for this presentation, tax-free money. As we see on the next slide, there are three sources of tax-free income. First are municipal bonds. If done right, these are solid long-term investments that should be a small percentage of every portfolio. The main drawbacks are usually the low returns and the lack of liquidity. Secondly is the Roth IRA. Created in 1997 by Senator William Roth Jr. of Delaware, it allows you to put after-tax dollars away and lets them grow tax-free if you let them stay in the account for 5 years after deposit. This is important because every deposit has its own 5-year period. The main drawback of the Roth is the income limitations. If you make over $114,000, you cannot contribute to one. And also, the contribution limit is only $5,500 per year, which is usually not enough to support a retiree and his family down the road. Finally, thirdly, is life insurance, specifically index universal life insurance. In the simplest terms, this type of insurance creates a tax-free pension by borrowing against the policy through the process called positive arbitrage. This basically takes the premiums, and after the cost of insurance, it invests them in a portfolio of specific indexes that produces an income stream. Fortunately, this is a living benefit and you don't have to die to collect it. Let's look at the next slide and see an example of this simple process in numbers. In this example, the indexed universal life insurance policy of $140,000 for a 31-year-old male who's paying $130 a month to age 65. Over that time frame until he's 65, the gentleman will pay in a total of $46,800. This amount will generate $24,568 a year in tax-free income, or $2,048 a month tax-free. With this, he will make back his principal in just 2 years. This amount generated of $2,048 a month tax-free is actually the approximate average Social Security payment today. And he has the security of knowing if something happens to him, his family is taken care of by the insurance. So, in comparing this scenario with our previous case, this gentleman, if he matches item A and lives to be 100, will receive a total of $515,928 tax-free. He will make a total profit of $467,328 off his $46,800 investment, and that is a higher return than item A of 99,856% return. In conclusion, after watching my presentation, I think these are your new future retirement questions. 1. Will there be Social Security when you retire? 2. What will the taxes be when you retire? 3. Will you be able to retire if you do nothing? And finally, 4. What should you do?
Well, that concludes.
Aspect. Why this subject is important for my career? It is my job, and it's my new business model. If you have any questions or business needs, please contact me. Thank you for your time. If you have any questions, my contact information is below.
Thank you for watching. Hope you guys have a great summer. Everybody in the class, good job. Good working with you. Have a great day.